Hello and welcome to an update of the to fluff or not to fluff bins. And we're going to start the update with our bin that we are fluffing. And you can see we have our bubble wrap covering this for moisture control. We want to make sure that everything stays nice and moist. And it looks like it's doing a great job. You can even see that some of the bedding that I put in last week is still not completely wetted through. So that is why I'm keeping that plastic wrap on top there. So they definitely have the bedding. No need to add any more, at least not this time. Just fluffing everything up. Got some nice sprouts. This material is very, very well worked over. You can tell the difference, I guess, between this side and that side. But all of this is just getting a little tousle. And then these guys are going to get fed. So because they still have bedding, just going to get some of this bedding and put it here in the center. And now let's see what we have. We have all kinds of great stuff for them. So we have really nasty, moldy hair. And another one. I think that will do. Now, where did I put the... Okay. So here is my buffer. Now, this is a combination of eggshell, oyster shell, and used coffee grounds. And coffee grounds is not a buffer and it's not a grit source, but I already put it in there, so I have it. I know one viewer asked me that he sees a lot of people putting coffee grounds in their worm bins, and he hasn't seen me do it. But I actually do. I do put it, I sometimes put it directly into the food. When I start new bedding, I also like to use used coffee grounds. And I think I had a video just recently where I showed me using some used coffee grounds and the new bin, when I start a bin. Okay, so this looks good, and you can see the material is really nice and moist, but it's definitely not wet, and that is how I like it. That is how the worms like it. They seem to be happy. And now we'll go over to the bin that we're not fluffing. So here is our second bin, and it is also 14-gallon. And it is exactly the same. We have our bubble wrap. You can see the beautiful, look at that. Amazing how everything sprouts, really great. Just a little more food for the worms, right? So here you can see there's a lot more bedding. I didn't work the bedding into the existing material when I originally put it in here. So all of this is beautiful castings, and you can tell that they are really nice and flaky. You don't want mud. You want nice, flaky, but moist castings. So we're just going to make a little space here in the center since we're not turning this bin up, and we're going to give them the same things we gave to the other bin. So you have here 2 pairs and some grit. The other pair is so, my goodness gracious, it's falling apart. Ooh. Yeah. And again, just a pinch. Just a pinch of a grit source. And then we are just going to use some of this bedding. We're going to cover this up. I want to keep the bedding moist. So I'm going to put it right on top of the food. And that way it'll absorb some of the liquid, and the worms will be able to get into it a lot quicker. So that's all we're doing in this bin. And this one looks really good too. I think this experiment has been going on now for 39 weeks. So I'm thinking pretty soon I'm just going to start letting them work over all the material. I'm going to stop feeding them so they can do that. And we'll do a harvest, and then we'll also see if there's a difference between the bins. In all honesty, I've been gauging this bin according to the other one. So it's not exactly fair because I would not have known what to do in this bin if I wouldn't have seen what was going on in the other bin. So when the other bin was dry, I added water to this bin as well. When it was overly wet, I added dry bedding there and here as well. So it's not exactly the kind of experiment that would tell people what to expect if they only had one bin and they did not turn the material over in that bin. But it's as close to it as I can get. Believe me, not turning over this bin takes so much willpower, since I love to fluff up all my bins. So that's our update. And they're settled in, and we are going to leave them alone. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.